Hello, I am C-3PO, Human Cyborg Relations, and before you listen to this episode of The Solo Show, I highly recommend that you go and watch the 4th episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney+.
Should have killed me.
You're still not healed!
Where's Leia?
Someone very important to me has been taken. I need your help to get her back.
General.
I can't lose her. You've no idea what the Empire is capable of. We could take those speeders, go in at night. You have some T-47s in the hangar.
It's suicide.
She's 10 years old. I won't leave her there. And things can't be forgotten.
For riding an entry port, it should be right ahead of you.
Where is she?
Detention areas in a secure sector.
Tala, I need a distraction. Come with me.
You were born what defeat would bring. I will tolerate your weakness no longer.
Coming up on this edition of The Solo Show, we continue our roundtable discussion on the 4th episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney+. As always, The Solo Show is brought to you by Victor Naraki Realtor, serving Disney and the greater Orlando area with celebratingflorida.com and disneyatyourdoorstep.com. The future is bright indeed. We're all of us dreaming of the better days ahead, and a part of your bright new future could be a move to where the magic lives in the greater Orlando area of Florida. One of the biggest decisions you'll make when considering a move is selecting a realtor who can successfully match you with the right home in the right location at the right price. Victor Naraki is the realtor who can help you make the move you've always wanted to. Whether you're a first-time homeowner or looking to move near Disney World, Victor is in your corner. If you are looking for an experienced real estate agent covering all of Central Florida, please visit disneyatyourdoorstep.com today and find out just why you should work with Victor. I encourage you to create a free, no-obligation account on his website. By doing so, you'll unlock the website's full potential and be able to enter specific criteria, save listings, and browse new properties sent to your email. Visit disneyatyourdoorstep.com today or visit his Facebook page, Victor Naraki Realtor. And don't forget to tell him The Solo Show sent you.
There's a hunger for this character to come back. The fans have been waiting long enough, you know?
Something that's extremely exciting is the return of obviously Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is quite a dark time that we're coming into with him. Just being a Jedi, it's not safe. There's Jedi hunters out there.
At least he has this one task left, which is to keep Luke safe.
That's definitely a starting place for our story. The interesting thing is going to be where it goes from there.
The most beautiful thing of all is that it's brought me back together with Hayden.
We are bringing back Hayden Christensen to reprise the role of Darth Vader. We couldn't tell the story of Obi-Wan Kenobi without addressing Anakin or Vader.
Have another swing at each other. It might be quite satisfying for everybody. We hope that you enjoy it as much as we enjoy making it.
Well, hello there. And welcome to another edition of The Solo Show. For those of you who are a little bit confused, thinking you've tuned into the Tonight at the Opera, no, it's not. I am not Stan Solo. I am, of course, Ken, the voiceover guy. Our buddy Stan is feeling a little bit under the weather, so he asked me to pinch hit for him today. And I'm more than happy to jump in his chair, even though I'll never be able to fill it completely. And all we're going to say is, get well soon, our brother from another mother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very true. Although, Ken, you missed an opportunity. We could have played this off like Darren, where we just acted like they didn't replace Darren midway through Bewitched.
This is true. I never even thought of that.
Yeah. Oh, and again, we're with the deep cuts from the Get Off Our Lawn crew.
Yeah. I like being a grumpy old man, okay?
Yeah. Nice. So we're all here again to discuss episode 4 of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series currently playing on Disney Plus. And let's just say quickly, hello, everybody.
Hello, and spoiler heavy, so get ready.
Yep.
Absolutely. We go right into the spoilers on this one. Shall we go around the table and just... I'm Mission Commander Justin, and I am joining us, and I'm really looking forward to this discussion, and this was a good episode. What do you guys think?
Ooh, yes. Very good. I really, really, really liked it. Watched it twice. Got to watch it again.
Skipper J says this show just keeps getting better and better, and these Star Wars shows in general give me everything I ever wanted. So I just want to be a glut and just shove all these Star Wars shows on my mods. Nom, 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 nom. It's all so good. It's all so good.
Great episode. Just too quick. Wish it was longer, but it was great.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. My only complaint, I think, would be that it's a too short an episode. Other than that, it was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry, I'm just going to say let's go ahead and let's each take a turn here, talk about the things that we liked, things that we maybe didn't like. Why don't you go ahead and start us off, Jay? Tell me something about the show that you really liked, something about the show that you weren't crazy about.
Vader. I got to see badass Darth Vader, and I didn't get to see enough Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your thing that you like and your thing that you didn't like.
Didn't like Darth Vader. I loved what I saw, but I did not get enough. Let's let him, like Mando and Boba Fett, just give him a whole episode.
Couldn't agree more. Do you agree, Scott?
Oh yeah, I agree. Vader was a badass here right there. And this is, I think, the first time we've seen him like running into the room, literally force choking Reva. I thought that was great. Obi-Wan's getting his powers back in that fight scene with the stormtroopers in that tunnel, man.
Okay,
He's
Scott,
getting his groove back.
Are you like me? Did you just love the dead stormtroopers floating in the water behind him?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
That was the good part in there. Yes.
Okay, Food Fairy Chris.
I just absolutely loved Leia in this episode. I thought she was, for a little 10-year-old girl, not just the character, but the actress herself. Again, she pulled this off with like totally flawless. I was very impressed once again. So
even the bits where she is being deceptive and trying, it all works. And she's practically channeling the energy of Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
I agree. One of the things I read online, somebody saying about the actress who plays young Leia, is that they were saying that they wish somehow that Carrie Fisher was here, so because they think that she would just absolutely adore the way that this girl is playing her.
Yep, I wholeheartedly agree with that comment.
I fully agree as well. That was amazing. And for me, I also loved Reva. The actress playing Reva is doing a fantastic job with this role. When she's menacing, when she's trying to cajole young Leia into revealing this information, we're all on the same side here.
Yeah,
she is knocking it out of the park as well. And so I'm really thrilled with this actor and the way she has approached this role. She's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, that interrogation scene was great between those two actors, young Leia and Reva. That was great back and forth with those two.
I love how she didn't treat Leia like a little kid, though. She treated her like a little adult.
She did.
Right, very much so.
And Leia responded in kind.
Yeah, she did. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That she did.
You know, one of the things, because I haven't been on any of the other shows, I'll throw this out here now because I haven't had a chance to say it. I was very concerned when I first heard that Dave Filoni was not really going to be involved with this, that it was going to be Deborah Chow in charge of this thing 100%. And holy mackerel, was I wrong. She has taken this and absolutely ran with it. This is just it's been touchdown after touchdown after touchdown.
I agree.
You know, and I have to say, I mean, Deborah Chow was one of the better directors from The Mandalorian.
Agreed.
And that's pretty high praise because she was there amongst a lot of really great directors.
Well,
So
I mean,
some of
Yeah.
her couple of episodes there were fantastic. So I'm thrilled to see that she's able to maintain that level of quality for this series, and she's doing a great job.
Hey Ken, I want to ask you, because you're jumping in here at episode 4. What is your overview of the series so far? What are your thoughts?
Thank you for asking. My overview is that this, I would say you worded it almost perfectly. It's just gotten better and better. The very first episode, when we're first introduced to Kenobi as kind of this broken, defeated person, I have to say I've been a fan of Ewan McGregor's for a long time, and just the subtlety and the depth that he is bringing to this role is better than any movie I've seen in a long time. And then we see the new characters. I love Moses Ingram as Reva. I'm sorry, I can't remember the young girl's name who's playing Leia right at the moment. I think the casting in this has been fantastic. I think that the performances are like, I would pay to see this movie. I would go to the theater every week to see this movie. The fact that it's on Disney Plus, I don't have enough praise for it. I wish I had a better vocabulary to give the praise that it deserves. They haven't hit a sour note yet.
And her name is Vivian Lyra Blair.
Beautiful, thank you.
And real quick, before we go any further, I have to say, I promised Chris I would say what I said to him watching on the couch, and that was, this should have been called How Obi Got His Groove Back. And I need someone to Photoshop. I need someone to Photoshop him into the poster of that movie in the bathrobe with a glass of wine and the car burning behind him.
Instead of a glass of wine, a lightsaber in his hand. Yeah, I agree. And I think I mentioned that before we started rolling here. I think I said something about this is the episode where Obi-Wan gets his groove back.
Yep.
And you know what I like about it? And again, this is to the credit of Ewan McGregor. Even though he is swinging that lightsaber, you're still seeing little hints that he's still kind of struggling with it. Like when he's holding back the glass, using the Force to hold back the glass, you can see that it's a real struggle for him. Like this is a lot of effort he's putting in.
Right.
Well, even when he's doing the lightsaber, he finally gets back that little twirl with his lightsaber that he used to do.
Yeah, he's one-handed too now. So
and it's fantastic. But you still have that feel like it's rusty. It's like he's still trying to get back to what he used to do. It's not what he's able to do now.
Yeah, well, when he was on the ship with what's the character's name that was with him?
Susie from Torchwood.
Susie, yeah. He was practicing
Keva,
moving
I think is her name.
Object, and he was having a really hard time.
Yep.
So for him to have struggled at that moment to the point where he got with using the lightsaber and holding that glass back from breaking. I mean, that was like a huge surge in energy for him in a short amount of time. So,
and Chris, with that, we noticed, and this we've been saying this all along, he is really acting with his eyes. You can see Kenobi thinking and having a discussion with himself.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The thing that really, and I admit I choked up a little bit, is there's the scene right at the end, just before we cut to black, where Leia takes Kenobi's hand as they're on the shuttle there, and there's just this real connection between the two of them, but there's this really subtle, innocent, sad moment between the two of them, and it's almost like a moment of redemption for Kenobi himself, when it's almost like for this moment and this one brief innocent moment that he feels like he may be redeemed from what happened with Anakin
and Padme.
Yeah,
absolutely. That is a fantastic observation. It is this nice, touching, tender moment as they hold hands, and kind of she looks at him. And it is very much almost this father-daughter kind of moment.
She gives him that just tweak of a smile without coming into a smile, and it was just really an eye and a facial expression to say thank you for.
I didn't
and again, that subtlety of acting from someone who's like so young. I mean, I want to see more from this actress going forward.
Yeah,
you mean the next Meryl Streep?
Exactly.
But Justin, I didn't read that as father-daughter. I read that as like uncle-niece.
Yeah, kind of.
Well, and if you like foreshadow everything too, and with this relationship that Leia has with Ben, what did they name Kylo Ren? They named him Ben,
Right.
so she has a great connection with him.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
I do have to say, the more time she spends with Ben, the more the meme of her when she's consoling Luke in A New Hope. She's got the blanket around him, and the bubble over her head says, "Wow, I'm really sorry about the old man you met just this afternoon. My planet died." It kind of makes that meme just a little bit funnier every time.
Yes.
Well, and interestingly, I mean, go back to like A New Hope, and she calls for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
But when does she get really excited? When she hears that Ben Kenobi is here
Yeah.
to rescue her.
Yeah, right.
And you made a reference to that scene in A New Hope. I'm sorry, I hate calling it A New Hope. It's Star Wars. It always will be. I'm the grumpy old guy, but anyway. You made reference to
Get
that
off our
scene.
lawn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You made reference to that scene where Leia is comforting Luke in that shot, and it's just that's the first thing that popped into my head. There is that moment when she's comforting Ben about what just happened, and now 20 years or 10 years down the road, she's going to do it again over the loss of Ben. And there's the whole line, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope." Now that's sort of I guess it's kind of retconning in a way, but they've played that beautifully.
Yes.
And see, and you said retcon. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I really want a Blu-ray release of this show, and I want commentaries on every episode to hear how they reverse engineered what happens in Star Wars to pepper it along these 6 episodes.
Yeah, this is a franchise that has so much canon now that you have to sort of tiptoe around with any story that you're telling. And the fact that they're able to do that and still tell such a fantastic story is a testament to the writers as well.
Yes.
Yep.
For sure.
Well, I think one thing that really plays up, and maybe in this series more than any other, is that the writers of this show are obviously fans.
Yeah, definitely.
So you got to be fans, and you got to do your research with all the canon that's involved. Like Justin was saying, you're tiptoeing around everything. Can't make the mistakes.
I wonder how much the person whose job at Lucasfilm it is to keep continuity between things gets paid. Because that could be a job for me.
There you go. Well, you know what? Whatever they're paying,
That
it's
almost
probably
has to
not
be
enough.
A team. That can't just be one guy. It can't just be
I
Dave Filoni.
volunteer for that job.
I nominate Skipper Jay, and I will second the nomination.
I will need an assistant, not stand solo.
So the thing I have to ask everybody now is, we are seeing a completely different type of Darth Vader than we've ever seen before. We got one little glimpse of him in Rogue One. What do we feel? How do we feel about it? Is it maybe too much, or do we like it?
This is a fantastic representation of what we always thought Vader was. I mean, because when we first saw him in the original Star Wars, right, he's just this guy in this black suit, but everyone's kind of afraid of him. Well, except for Leia, because apparently she's been tortured by these people her whole life.
Yeah.
But everyone else is terrified of this guy. And yet we don't see so much of that in that movie. But now we're really seeing what kind of damage this guy can really do, and why everyone should be afraid of him. So I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to drop the mic here and say, I want a Darth Vader show. I could eat this with a spoon all day long.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, we're seeing Darth Vader now in his prime.
Yep.
This is the Darth Vader I remember being terrified when I was a little kid when I watched this movie. This is what we're seeing right now.
Same, Scott. This was the boogeyman of my boyhood.
But that's what I'm saying. This is like the representation, we're actually seeing him do the stuff that we just sort of imagined he was capable of at the time.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You hear in the first 3 in the original trilogy, they always talk about how Darth Vader was this terrifying villain, and that everybody, like you say, is just absolutely horrified about. And with a few little glimpses here and there, where he raises the rebel soldier there, and where are the plans? Holds him by the throat. Other than that sort of moment, you don't really see this side of Vader. And I got to tell you, that scene in episode 3 where he's walking through the village and he snaps the young teenager's neck, and he's got the woman being dragged behind him by the Force. That was just so brutal. It was actually shocking to me. And for a minute, I had to say, wait a minute, holy mackerel. But you're right. This is the Vader that we've been looking for.
I think I can clear up this continuity. By the time we get to Star Wars, I love how we've all referred to calling it Star Wars. Vader is middle-aged.
Yep.
And now that I'm there, I don't have the energy to do anything. I get that explains why his fight with Ben is so wimpy.
Well, and also, as I understand it, George Lucas himself, I mean, when he was making the original Star Wars movie back in 1977, he envisioned these lightsabers as being very heavy. And so you would need 2 hands to wield them, and it would be more slow moving. And so that was part of the underlying reason at the time. But like you say, now we've seen people like swinging these things around like they weigh nothing. And
now
so we've had
Yoda flip around like
yeah. So we've seen so much progression since then, so that now it kind of makes more sense to go, yeah, he's just getting older and more tired.
Well,
aren't we all? Get off my lawn.
Well, that being said, we've seen a little bit on, was it the Book of Boba Fett, where Mando had the Darksaber. You gotta be free with it, and it's so heavy. And I think you look at Kenobi here in the last episode, and, he had a hard time moving that saber. I think it's more about being in tune with the Force and being strong with it to be able to do what they're doing. With those sabers.
That is the new mythology, and I'm really enjoying that. I love that aspect.
But Scott just made a good point. Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett, he's middle-aged. He doesn't have the energy to bounty hunt anymore. He just wants to sit.
Just wants to sit on his throne and tell people what to do.
Middle-aged in Star Wars is rough.
Well, getting back to Vader, my thoughts on him right now, what we're seeing is we are seeing the really angry Vader, because his anger is so intense from what he went through and directed at Obi because of what happened, that as time goes on, they don't see each other for a long time. And, when we get to A New Hope, then, they're both older. Definitely Obi is really older, but I don't think the anger, it seems like it's that intense like it is right now.
Yeah, this is
what
so
I'm
much more
feeling from this.
This is so much more of that white hot anger. And it's kind of made clear when we saw him kind of being put together, put into his suit, that this all hurts. This whole thing hurts. He's in pain all the time. He's in pain. He's angry. And I just want to mention, you talk about Obi-Wan being so much older, becomes Alec Guinness in the movies. But I love how Ewan McGregor is kind of doing things like twirling his hands around his beard and such. The same sort of acting choices that Alec Guinness had used in that original.
The mannerisms.
He's picking those up.
It's wonderful.
And moving his character into that.
And just when you talk about
choices.
Vader's pain, that in the comics, in the Marvel comics, they've made that a huge part of Darth Vader's story, where Palpatine actually gave him a suit that would cause him pain 24/7 to keep him angry, to keep him that quick access to the dark side, because he's literally in pain every second of every day.
And further too, I mean, also not having seen Obi-Wan for 10 years, you have to wonder if when the moment arises when he finally hears, Obi-Wan Kenobi is still alive. He sort of suspected it all along. He was force sensitive to Obi-Wan Kenobi, but now that he's there in front of you, all of that just comes rushing back up.
Right.
And it's almost like he's almost struggling to control that anger, because that's why he's, like I say, walking down the street, snapping that young man's neck. And it's just like this anger has to go somewhere until I get my hands on Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I can set him on fire.
And then
Hey, we all have that one ex that if we ever see them again, it's going to be like the last
Oh,
5
yes.
minutes of Kill Bill.
Oh, yes.
Uh,
Oh, yes.
That's a terrible analogy, but I love it.
you're too funny, Jay.
Oh, my goodness.
okay, a question for everybody and whoever wants to jump in here. Well, we were sort of alluding to it off before we started here. Fifth sister, Reva. I want more of her backstory.
Yeah.
Third sister, sorry,
Yeah.
not fifth sister.
Third sister, yeah.
I want more of her backstory.
Yeah.
I honestly want, even if it's just 2 or 3 episodes, I want to know about her. What do we think? Do we agree?
Yes.
You know, and there's the prevailing theory going around that she is one of those younglings in that first shot of the first episode. And I'm increasingly inclined to believe that theory. I think that's that's who she's going to turn out to be. She is going to be one of those younglings that survived the child massacre at the temple.
I think she's the very first character we saw in the show. The very first person we saw was a young girl of color. Escaping the temple. I swear that's Reva. That's why. And I bet you in the next 2 episodes, we're going to find out that she's angry at Kenobi because he got there too late.
Yeah, I think it's going to be related to that. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be, but it's either that
Just
or the
lay
fact
that down if anybody
he
wants to make
told
bets.
everyone, don't try to save anyone there, just run away or whatever it is. But that she feels that he is somehow personally responsible for leaving this small group of children out to dry.
Because he also said in an early episode, well, we found you in the sewer.
Yeah. And that could turn out to be a literal transition.
Yeah, she was homeless, and they picked her up at their chlorine detector.
Well, that being said, talking about when they were in the Fortress Inquisitor, when Obi-Wan was going through that area, when he's seen all those tombs of the Jedis, and you seen that youngling in there with his helmet on.
Yep.
If you look at the end credits from episode 1 to this episode, that's the same little boy that was in the beginning of episode 1 from there. That was with Reva. So
Reva has to see it every day.
Yeah. So.
Well, do you think that she keeps that around to remind her of it?
I don't know that she's the one keeping them there, though.
Yeah.
I have a theory because notice they were in amber color like in Jurassic Park.
Yes.
I think this is Palpatine's secret stash of his cloning process. He's getting from them.
And we saw was it Clone Wars or Rebels? I think it was Clone Wars where they had a Jedi in stasis like that they brought back. And then we also see that in the last sequel movie where with his clones are in that same kind of yellowish amber liquid. So this is the start of that. This would seem to be the start of they're trying to figure out how do we replicate this and how do we clone this. This even ties into The Mandalorian and why they're trying to get their hands on.
Dang it, Justin! You always steal my just what I'm going to say.
Great minds
I
work
know
alike.
that about you, but geez, man, every time.
He's force sensitive. What can he say?
I can't wait to hang out with you for real because I have a feeling we're going to be like Patty Duke in it.
we do have a lot of similar ideas. Some of them are good.
And then some of them are fun.
Yeah, I think Skipper Jay's best episode would be Grogu and Vader together in the same room duking it out.
I would just watch that on a loop all day long.
Exactly. Well, for who here wasn't the scene in Attack of the Clones, the scene where where Yoda and Count Dooku have their moment together. I mean, I don't often get a fanboy moment, but that was my fanboy moment. I was literally bouncing up and down in my chair. I was in my 30s when this movie came out, and I'm bouncing up and down in my chair going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, this is it. You know, like that was just the moment for me.
I want to hear you say that again.
My fear is that now that it's been recorded, it's going to be something that'll come back to haunt me at the Christmas party.
You edit this show.
It's going to be part of the intro now.
So I think we all enjoyed seeing Yoda fight.
Yep. That we
Okay,
did.
I think we're coming near to the bottom of the hour here. It's 12 degrees right now in the city, and we're going to move forward now with your favorites of yesterday and today right here on time. I had a flashback there.
But first, let's check in with our traffic copter.
Yeah, we can do the whole Les Nessman thing. Traffic today is light to heavy. And
on this car, there's still a lot of lava. So
yes.
Yeah, we need to get together and record some old time radio.
Oh, I would love to. We got to do that. I'm thinking when we do our Christmas thing this year, I think we should just do like the entire Christmas Carol. And just do it live.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Stan's going to kill me for even suggesting that.
What are you getting us into?
We should find an old radio script, an old radio Christmas script there's a part for everybody.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
We could do like Abbott and Costello, you and me.
Yeah, let's put on a real show. Let's do it.
Who's on foist?
Okay, so now let's quickly get back to the show we're here.
Sorry, Stan.
Yeah. Well, as Stan would say at this point, Ken, edit that out.
Squirrel.
Okay, so like I say, we're coming towards wrapping it up here. Final thoughts, everybody. Let's go one time around the table. We'll start with you, Justin. We started with you. We ended with you last time. We'll start with you, Justin.
Well, like I said, this one was almost too short, but because it moved so quickly. I loved how quickly it moved. It seemed like it really seemed, just as Obi-Wan is getting his groove back, the show itself seems to have really found its footing and is firing on all cylinders right now. This episode is a great action adventure and moving the story forward. I really loved the direction. I loved the acting. I loved the writing. Everything was great about it.
Okay. Food Fairy Chris.
I totally agree with everything he just said, and I cannot wait until episode 5, because if this one was this good, I have a feeling the next 2 are going to be even better.
Okay. Jedi Scott.
I agree with everything that's been said. Great episode. It was quick. It seems like it's only getting better. Only 2 episodes to go. And that being said, with all the rumors that are going around for having season 2, I hope they're true.
Mm-hmm.
Final thoughts, Skipper J.
Final thought is this is the 4th episode in a row I would give an A+ to. These shows are perfect. I'm getting everything I ever wanted. I could not be any happier with the show.
And I would have to agree. I'll even use a baseball reference here. Hank Aaron, home run every single time.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
All right. And now my last thing, just before we roll and wrap it up here. Any thoughts on, are we going to see Liam Neeson in the next episode?
Episode 6.
You think they're going to keep him right for the end?
6. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking last episode, not this.
Not just last episode, last scene.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Luke at the end of
Luke
at the end of Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's kind of what I'm thinking as well.
We'll keep our fingers
the
crossed.
final cherry on top, as it were.
Yeah, I think he's going to be more in tune with the Force and all that, so now he's going to be able to connect with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more, and I certainly hope so. Well, this has been fun as always. Thank you very much for letting me fill your chair, Stan. I can fill the chair, but I can never replace you. We're hoping you're feeling better for next week's episode, and thank you everybody for coming out and putting up with me, and I really had a great time tonight. I hope everybody else did too.
And I can say, Ken, take it away.
Oh, dang, I didn't think of that first.
If you have a brilliant idea for a future edition of The Solo Show and would like to take your turn in the guest host's chair, then drop us an email at thesoloshow01@gmail.com. Tell us your idea for the show, and we'll contact you about a date and a time for you to join us. If you would just like to keep the conversation going or have a comment about a previous show, then visit us on Facebook at The Solo Show. All logos, sounds, and songs that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are owned solely by the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be, the ownership of The Solo Show podcast. We hope you'll join us for the next adventure on The Solo Show. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.